Dear teachers, scholars, and students from various colleges and from various parts of the country, a warm welcome to all of you. PG Department of English, Baithul Izza, Arts and Science College, Narikuni, Calicut, affiliated to the University of Calicut, has been arranging series of invited talks, national seminars, international seminars to motivate the students of English language and literature. Today, we have an eminent scholar and personality, Professor Ameera Khamar from Shaqra University, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Professor Ameera Khamar, she was a student of Farooq College, Autonomous Calicut, and after the completion of the PG degree in English, she has been working in Shaqra University, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia for the last 8 years. Today, she is reading a paper on the topic Love and Hatred Relationships of Expatriates in Anitha Desai's Bye Blackbird. I invite Professor Ameera Khamar to read her paper. Thank you.
Good morning, all. A very warm welcome to one and all watching this session. Talking about myself, I am Ameera Khamar, working as an assistant professor of English, Shaqra University, Saudi Arabia. As a part of the talk series, I'd like to share some information regarding the topic Love-Hate Relationship of Expatriates in Anitha Desai's Bye Blackbird. First of all, I'd like to thank the organizing committee for being a part of this session. Thank you. Thank you all. So, my topic is, I repeat, love-hate relationship of expatriates in Anitha Desai's Bye Blackbird. Expatriation and the problems and complexities of prevalent in the life of these expatriates has emerged as a major theme in the novels of the 20th century authors, crossing the barriers of caste, creed, and nationality. Rudyard Kipling, E.M. Forster, Bharati Mukherjee, Toni Morrison, and Farhana Sheikh have been articulate enough in narrating the complexities of the life of the immigrants. Another author in this series is Anitha Desai, who dives deep in the unconscious and subconscious psyche of the expatriates and reveals their nausea, nostalgia, and longingness to their native land. Her depiction of characters and situations is not one-sided, and her protagonist seems to be cherishing a strange love-hate relationship with the land of their adoption. Anitha Desai's Bye Blackbird depicts circular journey of a soul searching for a perfect life, as she feels that all these immigrants are prone to schizophrenia and predicament to live or not to live in England. With great precision and brilliance, Adit, means the chief protagonist, is weighing the merits and demerits of this foreign land. But at the close of the novel, he comes up with a conclusion when his English self was receiving and fading and dying, that to achieve their real self and to have a real life, he must go to India, his native place. Adit, the chief protagonist in the fiction, is settled in London, which means the land of opportunities. He's all prize for London, being a romantic Oriental in love with the cynical West, while Dev, his friend, who has come to England and still cherish hatred for British and the Britishers who invaded, suppressed and trampled his country, while ironically at the close of the fiction, Adit leaves England for good and Dev remains behind. The plot of the novel is tightly well knitted, and the story takes some very beautiful and unpredictable twists and turns, and at times the highly imaginative or sensitive readers find himself amidst the Londoners, facing the humiliations of their taunts while enjoying the fresh morning air of countryside as well. Adit, the hero in Bye Bye Blackbird, is born in a middle class, and he had come to England to enjoy the freedom. And here he fell in love with an English girl, Sarah, and got married to her. Adit was attending a party where Sarah had also been invited, and then it was her shyness and her shyness that brought out the protective in Adit, whereas all the other guests and the hostess had only made him feel uncertain and possibly even humiliated. It was love at first sight, and in the very first meeting itself, he expresses his love to her, contemplating. Adit has molded and transformed himself entirely up to the expectations of England. He has fully adapted the lifestyle of Britishers. Time and again he keeps comparing England with his own native land and openly criticizes India for its traditionality and backwardness. Truly, his experiences in India were not very pleasant, and he portrays its hurt, rending gloomy picture to others as he tells them that during his visit to India he only noticed the laziness of the clerks and the unpunctuality of the buses, trains, and the beggars, flies, and the stench and the boredom of it. Adit is proud of his blind admirations of England, love, admiration, and loyalty. He has so much to offer to England, and in return, he feels that he has every right to enjoy and celebrate the Covent Garden, operas, and the pub down the road, picnics in the Hyde Park, etc. I have every night to enjoy them because of my education, my taste, my interest in them. No Englishman can deny that. Ironically, notwithstanding all his appraisal, his worship and trust on this land of liberty, eccentricity, and individualism, he realizes that England can provide him neither of these. Wherever he goes, he becomes a victim of racial discrimination and was constantly regarded as not a second-grade citizen, but also an intruder. He knew perfectly well that, despite his best effort, he would never reach at the top post in his office because always he will be Britisher for that, and he is an Indian, an unwanted expatriate in this country, and his destiny is to listen the taunts and comments of Britishers. Even Sarah has to face and suffer discrimination for getting married to an Indian. These Britishers would not spare her and enjoy every opportunity of teasing her. Hurry, hurry, Miss Curry. The group of school children teases her. Even at school, when surrounded by her colleagues, she's always self-conscious, feeling glad if escaped having answered personal questions. They compel her to explain various recipes of cooking curry and to tell them about her future plans, or would inquire regarding the whereabouts of her parent-in-laws, and seeing her reluctance and stammering while trying to answer these questions, they would make some cruel remark. If she is ashamed of marrying an Indian husband, why did she go and marry him? When Adit asked her whether she would be able to go to India, leaving the beautiful England with its silent grey church at the hilltop, she answers promptly, "When I think of all the millers of England, I could leave at once." Despite his love and admiration for England, he feels himself as an alien and stranger, and at these moments, his heart is full with nostalgic of his native land. He longs for his home and all the things associated with it. On Christmas Eve, he would tell Sarah to cook carrot halwa for him, as it reminds him of being at home. The root of this nostalgia are hidden in Adit's inward hatred for England and nothing but love for his native country. Another most strong testimony of his love to his own country is his effort to raise funds during India's war with Pakistan. And it is during the war that he took the major decision that he would go to India along with Sarah. Dev, another immigrant who had come to England to pursue higher studies, is not ready to accept the indifferent, rather scornful attitude of Britishers, and all that time he is conscious of it. It was the beginning of his predicament when he find himself getting lost in the apples in Pellicott Lane. And at the close of the fiction, one finds him completely bewitched and succumbed to the charms and the future perspective of his life in England, when instead of quitting the job and going back to India with Adit, he would stay in England and join the tourist bureau in which Adit was working previously. Instead of realizing that he soon will have to undergo all the insults, pain, and the mental torture Adit was facing, he felt accused relief of the unemployed at last employed. With his joining in the new job, chances of his return to India have been diminished. Anitha Desai's Bye Bye Blackbird depicts the love-hate relationship of the expatriates with England. She presents a clear reversal of attitude of these two expatriates, Dev and Adit. Adit, the man who loves it, leaves it for good and desires to settle down in India, contrary to Dev, who had come to England with a purpose to higher education and was determined to go back, settle down there. A constant struggle of emotions, Adit's mental peace, and he finally come over his indecisiveness and decides to return to India. Thus, the symbolic title, Bye Bye Blackbird, seems to come alive.